Spending is too high for the US government, cutting spending potentially needed. How would you say we would need, or the Americans would need, to cut spending to make their country more competitive?
Well, if I had anything to do with it, I would cut spending dramatically in the U.S. with a chainsaw. I would cut spending because I'm not sure what we're getting for all of our spending. I don't see what we're getting for it. Even the highway system seems to be deteriorating. I know one time we had the best highways in the world. We don't seem to now. So I don't know where it's all going. From what I read, a lot of it is going into transfer payments, welfare, whatever. And that's great for the people who get it. I'm not so sure it's good for the people who are putting up the money. I'm not sure what America's getting for it. So I would certainly cut spending with a chainsaw if I had the choice.
Infrastructure is one idea in the US being kind of pushed further to the upside. China has been doing very well. We're now in Singapore. Whenever there's a crisis, Singapore government kind of boosts spending in infrastructure. Is China doing then better compared to the US in their infrastructure projects?
Well, the U.S. is the largest debtor nation in the world, the largest debtor nation in the history of the world. And the debt is going higher every day. So U.S. history shows that the U.S. cannot have a perpetual future the way it does now. And the U.S. is going to have a gigantic problem sometime. And unfortunately, perhaps in my lifetime, certainly in my children's lifetime, because the debt is just so, it cannot be met. We cannot deal with the debt someday. At the moment, we can get away with it, and we are getting away with it. But no, in 1925, Britain was the richest, most powerful country in the world. There was no number two. 50 years later, it was bankrupt. I don't see how the U.S. can avoid. I mean, I can add. That's the problem. I can add and subtract. And I don't think they can in Washington, which is part of the problem. And I mean, if you just go back and read history, you see this ends very badly for the U.S. I'm not sure when, but historically, I mean, the U.S. has staggering debt now, and it's been building up for a long time, and it's getting higher and higher. And history shows this is bleak. This is grim for the U.S. and for people who are U.S. citizens and taxpayers. Eventually, somebody's going to say, enough is enough, and it's going to be a big problem, just as it was for Britain. I mean, I repeat, Britain was once, 100 years ago, was the richest, most powerful country in the world. There was no number two. 50 years later, it was bankrupt. Britain went bankrupt. IMF had to bail them out. It was not fun. And I know that has happened to everybody else in history who has run up staggering debts. Eventually, somebody says, you got to pay. And they say, we can't pay. It's coming.
China and the infrastructure in China, it's being built up with fast lightning speed. Is that the smarter way to now run an economy moving forward?
Well, you're exactly right. I don't know if you've driven across China. I've driven across China 2 or 3 times more. It is astonishing. The first time I drove across China, it was basically just desert. It was essentially no road. Now they got the best roads in the world, best highways in the world. They learned how to build highways from other people, and they did it, and they are doing it. But it's not just highways, hotels, everything. Restaurants. Oh my gosh, there were no restaurants, no pillows. first time I drove across China. But now, if you need it, they've got it. And if they don't have it, they'll have it soon. Because they're hardworking, save lots of money, energetic, educated, extremely educated now. America was like that once. And we built a gigantic infrastructure, a huge, successful country. It's happening in China too now. I made sure my children learn Chinese. We will see. It may be bad for them, but right now it's good for them.